Daniil Lanier here. Let's talk about failure. Failure. It's something that we deal with our entire lives. We deal with failure. But what's interesting about failure is early on, we're taught that failure is bad. So as we grow, we sometimes develop these behaviors that drive us to fear or freeze us in the thought of failure because we're thinking that failure is bad. We have this relationship that sometimes bigger than others that we've put on failure. So when we think about failure, sometimes we don't even do what we want to do in that fear of failure because we've taught that it's so negative and it has to, for some of us, such a negative connotation in our heads that we won't even proceed when there's a possibility of failure. We won't even proceed forward. So it's really going to be hard for some of us to think about this dynamic because it's really going to be a dynamic shift in your mindset of what failure means to you, because you have to think of failure as your roadmap to success. Failure is not a bad thing. Failure does not mean the end. Failure does not mean that there is no possibilities out there. Failure is a learning opportunity. And you have to start building on making your failures a part of the building blocks of your success. If you only look at failure as a negative and a bad thing, you're never going to get it and you're never going to want to move forward because you're going to be so frustrated in the failures. When you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to do something, you're going to have successes. You're going to have pits, lows, and valleys, and then you're going to have highs. You're going to go to the mountaintop and you're going to go up and you're going to go down sometimes. But how you deal with the down periods are really affecting how you rise and then maintain a plateau. Rise, plateau, rise, plateau. And that's what you want to do. You want to rise, plateau, and kind of minimize those pits and falls and those valleys. But you do that by learning that failure is a building block. So what do you have to do? What do you got to think about? First of all, just think about, if it just purely just to give yourself some motivation, think about some people that have failed, some of them more than others. Here, I'll give you a great example. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't good for TV, that she wasn't going to be good on TV. She was too emotional. Now, what if she would have took that failure and said, well, they're right. I'm not good for TV. I need to think about doing something else, right? But she didn't. She said, okay, well, maybe I'm not good for this type of TV. At the time, she was a news anchor. And she said, maybe I'm not good for this type of TV. I want to do something else. This is what I want to do, but I want to navigate it into something else. So she learned from that and moved forward. Let's look at J.K. Rowling's. Now, hers was a little different because she went to publisher to try to have her book published, something like 12 times, rejected, but she didn't give up. She said, hey, maybe I'm sure in that process, she probably changed her pitch a little bit. She may have done it a little differently each time, and she learned from that to finally get that success. And some of that, sometimes it is a little luck. There's some other things involved, but she didn't give up. She kept going. She kept trying. Let's talk about James Dyson, the guy that made the Dyson vacuum cleaner. Now he's got the fan, he's got all kind of stuff. But his first prototype of his vacuum cleaner, it took him like 5,000 times to get that wind tunnel thing that he developed for his vacuum cleaner. It took him like 5,000 times to get that right. So 5,000 times it took him, over and over, a failure. But what he did was he learned each time. He took the successes of those failures and he learned and made it better. What about, here, I'll give you one that everybody knows. Colonel Sanders. That's right, Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. You probably don't know how old Colonel Sanders was when he finally made it with his recipe for fried chicken. Colonel Sanders pitched his recipe to like 1,000 people. Everybody turning him down. Everybody's like, nah, no. Colonel Sanders was 68 years old when he finally got an investment for his fried chicken. Crazy, 68. This guy was 68, but he was still trying. He wasn't letting those failures knock him down. So I want you to think about this. When you fail at something, I want you to just look at first, take the failure and say, okay, I failed. And sometimes it can be a little emotional, but then after a while, you have to get up, take the emotion out. And then you say, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this failure? Sometimes, when you start this process off, because it's going to be new for some of you, write down one thing. Just write down one thing that you can learn from the failure in front of you. One thing you can learn. So as you move forward, you can say, okay, I'm not going to repeat this, or maybe I'm going to modify this, because sometimes you got to make a little course correction to get to where you want to go. You don't have to get off track and do something totally different, but sometimes you got to kind of change it up a little bit, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with making a little course correction to do that. But what you want to do is learn from the failure. Learn from it. You can write down one thing, you can write down multiple things. What did I learn from this? What did I gain from this? Take the emotional piece out that, hey, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't see my vision. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, not everyone is gonna see your vision. Just like I just talked, the people I just talked about, not everyone is gonna see your vision in the beginning. I don't remember who said this, but somebody said, nobody wants to be the first one to take the risk, but there's thousands of people that want to be second. So the idea is like Facebook, things like that. People that probably, if they went around and asked people to get involved, hundreds of people probably would have said, nah, I'm not doing that. Nah, I'm good. But I tell you right now, if somebody goes around, they'd be, yes, I want to get on board, because not everyone's going to see the vision in the beginning, but it's okay. Learn from that. You may have to tweak your pitch. You may have to tweak your idea. If your idea is like a product or something and it's failing, you may have to make some changes. You may have to make sometimes some fundamental changes to what you're doing or what you're saying or how you're going about it. But what you have to do is understand failure is okay and failure is good. You have to build upon each failure and get better. Rebuild each time and get better. It's just like the failures in life. If you have a major setback, learn from it. Pick yourself up, learn from it, and go, okay, this is what happened. These are the decisions that I made to get here. Be accountable. Be accountable for your actions. Be accountable for what you did to get in whatever this is, or your part in how you move forward. Just be accountable, and then say, okay, this is what I can learn from that. This is what I'm going to do moving forward. These are the changes I need to make. These are the changes I need to make in me. These are the changes I need to make in this product. These are the changes I need to make in my pitch. I'm going to try again because I'm going to do this. And I shouldn't say try. You're going to move forward and you're going to do it again. You're going to just go forward and do it again. I'm going to try, you're going to do. You're going to go forward and just move forward and do it. But what I want to say, and the main point is, failure is not bad. Do not look at failure as something negative. Failure is a positive movement forward and a building block for your success. This is Daniil Lanier. Don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared to get out there and push yourself out of your comfort zone and get to where you want to go. Have a good one.